Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the Grand Line here today. I'm going to be talking about a review of Chapter 858 of One Piece and some predictions and thoughts on what's going to happen in Chapter 859 next week, because I don't believe that it is on break. No, it's not. Alright, so to start things off with the review, I was mainly starting things off, the Shonen page in the beginning. So I actually really like that art. I thought it was better than last week's, but I just like the Shonen covers. I think they're really neat. Anyway, so there was also that other guy talking about the cake, and he's, like, crying tears of joy while he's making that cake. I mean, I was just laughing, because I was thinking he's gonna be crying tears of, like, panic and shame once that cake gets wrecked at the wedding, because I'm still on board with that idea that the cake is going to get destroyed at the wedding and then cause Big Mom into a complete hysterical mess when the cake is destroyed. So I just think it's really funny how he's crying of happiness right there, but he's gonna be crying of sheer panic when that happens. Then started to talk about, like, Peckham's, and then the Sun Pirates, and whatnot. We were all, like, that was confirmed that the Sun Pirates, did end up completely taking care of Peckham's during that time period, and whatnot. I think it's really interesting how, just throughout this chapter, you see some of the, daughters of Big Mom sort of kind of, like, well, I mean, they're okay with people turning on Big Mom, which is their mother, in a sense. Like, they're okay with that happening. I just find that really funny. And, like, with, I think with Charlotte Praline, with the Fishmen, with that, she's like, oh, well, she knows they're going to take out Big Mom, but she's not going to tell Peckham's that, because she's okay with that. I just think that's really interesting, at least. Or there's more, like, I guess you would say there's, like, people do not all feel about the same way about Big Mom. Like, all her sons and daughters do not completely support her. I am assuming, and I wonder if there's going to be any other sort of stuff like that pops up during the wedding. That'd be really interesting if people start turning on her and she didn't even know that, but I don't know if Oda is going to pull that out of the bag or whatnot. Also, it was talking about packages and stuff, and, like, just people, objects were coming into the bay pretty much. It was, cargo. Cargo was being, like, carried into the bay or whatever. Peckham's kept talking about, saying it was busy. I was thinking about what that cargo might be, honestly, and I'm thinking that it might be, like, weapons for Capone. And I know it could either be the underworld people coming to see the wedding, because the wedding's only 3 hours away at the end of this, so, like, that makes sense if they came in last night and whatnot. But I still really think that, it might even be Capone's, like, weapons that he has to back up what he's doing with his plan, because he says, I've already got a perfect one all thought up. So I'm not sure if he has some, like, weapons being delivered. Maybe it's some weapons that Caesar had on Punk Hazard that are being delivered to Whole Cake Island. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that's just some of my thoughts on the actual cargo that was being brought in. Also, we just see a little scene with Vito. Honestly, I really am curious what Vito's power level is. Like, because Vito just, like, disposed of Bobbin, and it made it look like he had no issues with him, like, whatsoever. Like, I'm genuinely curious, like, because I don't know how strong a Capone is. Capone is looking like a badass in these past couple of chapters. I wonder if he's comparable to Luffy. I'm not really sure, but if he is, then I wonder if Vito's, like, comparable to Zoro, which I do not agree with. Like, I'm pretty sure, in my opinion at least, I believe Zoro is stronger, but I want to know, like, is Vito on, like, around Sanji's level, or what's the type of deal with him? I'm just really curious. Also, the shower scene with, like, the giants, confirmed that the prince, Loki or whatever, was the one to propose to Lola for the wedding, which she ran away from. And the whole thing about Big Mom wanting to then, like, enlarge people or whatever, and then, like, she even used her twin sister to, like, replicate Lola in the marriage for that, which did end up failing because they were to tell the difference, which made the relationship worse. Interesting. Like, that just really shows why there's such, I don't want to say hatred, but a dislike between the two, which, I mean, it really is Big Mom's fault to blame for the whole dislike, honestly. At least at the moment, unless we hear the backstory, but trying to replace somebody with someone else, that's not going to work out well. And the fact that Big Mom then started beating Lola's twin because she looked like Lola, like, that's just, like she's actually insane. Like, I mean, it's just funny, because then you see, like, why she then has no problem going along with Capone and attacking Big Mom. Like, heck, I'd be on that train. Like, I wouldn't care. Like, if you're gonna, like, beat me that repeatedly, I would not have any sort of emotion towards her, like she said. Which makes me think, because you had Charlotte Praline knows Jinbei's gonna turn on Big Mom. You have this daughter, Lola's twin, also gonna turn on Big Mom. Then you even see a panel of Pudding thinking and contemplating about why Big Mom keeps, like, just, like, spoiling her, and she obviously, like, she said she doesn't like that. I can't really read into all that. It was, like, 3 panels. But, I'm wondering if there's, like, a bunch of doubts, within all the daughters and stuff, with Big Mom, and if they're really just not really as supportive of her as we were like led on to be, and whatnot. Also, just another comedical moment was the Milk with his tooth that got like fixed back in. I actually thought he was gonna forever like have the missing tooth. I thought that would have been pretty cool. But it was fixed, which I thought was pretty funny. Also, Caesar being there, I really was wondering where Caesar was. So a great way to bring back Caesar into the story. Honestly, that was fantastic. I don't want to say I wasn't like surprised, but it really fit in well, and I'm really curious then like post this, what's Caesar gonna do? I mean, a lot of people thought Caesar might be like a Straw Hat, but with his personality, I think he really fits more of the Fire Tank Pirates type. If he were to stay on Capone's crew, I would not have any qualms with that. I'd be totally fine with that. Like, I think his personality is more evil and deceptive, just like Capone, so he'd fit in right in over there as, what was it, Gangster Gastino or something? Yeah, that name was freaking bizarre. But I think that's really interesting. The other thing with this alliance, holy heck do I love this alliance. It reminds me so much more, like I said last week, of the Kid, Hawkins, and Apu vibe, where they completely hate each other. Like, you can just see them starting to get into a fight there. I mean, thank you for Jinbei, the grandpa, and like the father that mentors these, not like mentors, but like maintains it's like controlled chaos, and he's controlling the chaos in a sense, just to keep them on the same page just enough to then fight Big Mom, and then once they're done, they can go kill each other. But I mean, thanks for Jinbei being there, otherwise this would have went all over the place. But I really like how this alliance is shaped up. I mean, it was really how I like the way Oda drew it and like wrote it out was how I pictured it in my mind. A very shaky alliance, if it is even to be considered one. Also, sorry, thinking about the predictions for next week's chapter. I'm really thinking, like, because Sanji brought up a really interesting point, saying that he needs to be back in that area at that certain point, otherwise Big Mom's gonna know something's up. And I'm really curious, like, what the timeline then is for Sanji in that area, and what he's really like when he gets back into the bed. He gets up in the morning, goes through the routine, and etc., etc. But then does he tell the Vinsmokes then and there, with all the homies around, that there's a plan to take out Big Mom? I don't know. Like, could that be risky with all those homies there listening to him talk? So I'm curious how he is going to go about letting his family know that they are in danger. Or is it going to be all the way, wait till the wedding, and then everyone it's complete actual chaos and a war, which we all are assuming it's going to be, and they're just going to unravel at the same point at the wedding. Just thinking about that, I think it'd be really interesting. Next chapter, I really think it's going to be discussing more Capone's alliance. I mean, not his alliance, I'm sorry, the plan. And what's his plan, and what is it really going to be all about? I guess he's going to be discussing it, at least, because I think Jinbei already said he sort of knows what it is, or at least there are preparations that he has to take out Big Mom. And so that's why I'm kind of thinking that the cargo that came in the bay that Peckham's heard might be weapons and other, maybe like it was an ally coming in on a ship that he has not revealed yet. So I think it's either going to be something along those lines, or it might be other weapons. I'm still on the train that it might be Caesar's weapons. Like, I really think it could be his that he's importing to the bay, and then they're going to then use to take out Big Mom at that point. So next chapter, I'm assuming we're probably just going to see Big Mom, like, it's going to be the beginning of the wedding. I guess people will just be getting ready. It's probably just going to be some more filler, because we still have 3 hours. I wish they would just fast forward it quicker at least. And another last thing to end this note on is Peckham's. Like, man, like, Peckham's is just like a snitch right now. Like, I'm just going to call him a snitch, because I just swear that's what he is. Like, he has this undeniable loyalty to, like, one of the worst people in, like, I swear, like, the story of One Piece, like, Big Mom. Like, and it's like, no matter what, he's, like, going to go save her, going to go tell her this. And I'm like, no, you just got to stay down and don't do anything. But, I'm curious if he's going to actually, like, break away from the fisherman and tell her ahead of time. Because if that happens, oh my god, all hell's gonna break loose. Like, whatever plan Capone had is gonna be shot. Like, it's not gonna work at all if Peckham's is able to tell Big Mom, in my opinion. However, I don't think he's gonna actually be able to take off and get away at least from the fisherman pirates. But just if he did, because it is possible, I'm really, really, really curious how that would really impact the story. I think it would be very, very interesting and cause completely different outcomes than we would have predicted and thought about. Alright guys, that's all from me. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Grand Line, and I'm gone. Have a nice day. See you later.